All right, here we go. Teddy Bridgewater versus Drew Lock, round 2. Round 1, last week we talked about how it was significantly in Drew's favor, and then we'll talk about this week who won. Before we get into it, please like, subscribe, and comment on this. And if you haven't watched round 1, go back and watch it. But go ahead and do that. We've got a beast for you. We've got a lot of clips. We're teaching a lot of football today. I think it's probably maybe the best video we've had so far. So let's just dive right into it. First clip. So we're doing Teddy first. First clip of the good. And this is just a great read and great ball. We're going to teach a little bit more football overall. The Broncos are in really what's going to be called mesh Z dagger. Okay, you don't really need to know that, but mesh is just made up of 2 shallows. Okay, these guys are trying to essentially rub to get the defenders picked in man coverage. They're going to stay on the move against man-to-man. They can also sit down like I just drew up against zone. Okay, so that's a shallow. Shoulder 8, it means against middle of the field open. So this run right here, middle of the field open, he's going to run what's called a cover 2 post, meaning, hey, work vertically and then split the safeties. Middle of the field close, which is what we have right now with this safety in the middle. He's going to cross face and then carry over. He's trying to pull this guy out of here. Judy's just what we call a 6 route, just a 20-yard flat in. Some guys teach it at start your break at 15 and roll it. Some guys teach it as get to 20 and cross face. Okay, the read for this is really going to probably be, 1A, 1B situation. So, hey, read the mesh and then get to the dig. Okay, that's really probably how you're going to read it. If it was middle of the field open, you would possibly bypass the mesh and go 1 to 2. But with it being 4th and 5, I'm assuming they want his eyes on the mesh, and then Teddy just does a great job. So watch Teddy here. We're going to be able to look at his eyes from the tight better, but here I want you guys to see the pocket navigation, okay? So on the wide, let's watch the pocket navigation. You guys can watch him hit that fifth step, climb, and then just rip a strike on the in route. Great pocket navigation there. Obviously, great ball. When we get to the tight, we're going to see his eyes working. This is one of my favorite things because I'm going to give you one in slow-mo. So as he's working, you can tell he's reading out the mesh. So to me, his eyes are here first. Boom. He doesn't like it. Then his eyes go to Fant. He almost pulls the trigger on Fant. You can see him start to cock his arm. And I wonder if he felt the pressure. Like if he didn't like the feeling of when pulling his arm back there. Then he anchors in the pocket. What we mean by anchor is that, hey, he's climbing up. Sorry, I'm going to erase this for you. What we mean by anchor is, look, he's going to climb up in this pocket, climb, and then he gets to a spot and he anchors down, meaning he holds his position because obviously you don't want to keep climbing into the lineman, and then he rips an absolute strike. Let me play it. I want to play it back full speed and just let you guys watch it for one. So you can see him burn it up 5, climb, eyes are working the whole time, anchors down, rips a strike. I mean, that's a great ball. That's a freaking missile. So, love that one. This, to me, is one of the most creative play designs I've seen Pat Shurmur have. I really like where the offense is at with Pat Shurmur. I know a lot of people gave him a hard time last year, but, man, I like where it's at. This, to me, is an RPO. Now, I could be misreading this. I could be projecting my own innovative thoughts onto Coach Shurmur, but to me, this looks like a lot like RPO, meaning, hey, we're going to block inside zone here. We're here. We're double team up to the backer. We're here, and we're here. With this guy creeping in, okay? So with this guy, the nickel creeping off the edge, we can't account for him. So to me, this turns into, okay, we know that we can't account for him numbers-wise in zone, so we're just going to go ahead and flip this little, I would call it a 3-step Okie because he's got his outside foot up. Other people might call it a flat route, but I think it's RPO, and then based on leverage, we throw that flat route or Okie route, whatever you want to call it. What I think the reason for these indicators to me is I think you see these guys both set zone, and I think you see Royce on an inside zone track. So watch these linemen. Watch them set outside. Boom, they go outside like they're in run game, and then they get back and retreat. Now watch Royce and watch his path. It looks to me like inside zone, and then he goes to do the blitz pickup after. Those are the 2 indicators for me of why I'm thinking this is an RPO based on leverage. Teddy just does a great job flipping, getting the ball out, throwing a great ball, easy touchdown. This to me is the bad. So we went good, good. Now we're going bad. Seattle's just in cover one hole, right? It turns into one hole because this back stays in. They've got man across the board. Anytime you have man coverage, you love throwing back shoulder to your fade, or you go slant here, okay? Either one's a good decision to me. I think Teddy does a great job of getting his protection set. To me, the issue is not the decision. I like the decision to throw back shoulder. What I dislike is the ball. A lot of people are saying, well, KJ didn't adjust. Yeah, that was 6 yards behind him. So there's a difference between throwing back shoulder, which is, hey, you throw it really at your receiver's front shoulder, because then by the time it gets there, it'll, work out timing-wise. Obviously, it ends up on the back shoulder, and then throwing it 6 yards behind him. I guess not really 6, maybe like 4. But to me, that's not on KJ. That's just a poorly thrown back shoulder. So, good decision, bad ball. Good decision, bad ball. Now we've got to a point where, boom, okay? This is just a bad decision. To me, what we've got is a PSL here. So that means pre/post-snap look. We've got the highway concept here, okay? Highway concept is seam paired with Harvey. Highway we love against MOFC. Now, what does MOFC mean? Middle of the field closed, okay? Then we've got Okie with the speed out and the stick. We like this against Mofo. What does Mofo mean? Oh, I forgot I'm up there, so you can't see the handwriting. Mofo does not mean what it means when you call it to your buddies playing golf. It means middle of the field open, okay? So if it's middle of the field open, we would read the Okie route to the stick, 1 to 2. Middle of the field closed, we're going to read inside out, seam to Harvey. I really think this is something that we're seeing as more of Teddy's game/personality, which is, I could make an argument for both KJ, and again, the ball's out of his hand, so you'd have to factor this guy running, but I could make an argument for both KJ and Jerry on this play. Okay, we get to the check down, which again, I don't want to say is a bad decision. I don't want to grade it out as super negative, but to me, we could have ripped the Harvey and we could have ripped the seam. The seam's probably a little bit harder. The Harvey route to Judy probably is the more open route. So, hey, positive from he got to the right side. He got to the close side. Negative to me from I don't believe he followed his progression sheet, okay? This I love, though. So this play, well, first, I really like this jump shift that they've been doing where they shift both tight ends, and then all of a sudden we create a new four-man surface. I love this, okay? And I specifically love run and play action off of it, which is what we've got here. This, to me, is XZ read. XZ read is something that the Broncos ran a ton of in 2020. Yeah, 2020 last year. They ran a ton of that. XZ read is basically, hey, man, just go ahead and kill this thing vertical. If you can't get on top of your guy, sit down at 20. What I'm going to tell you right now is we bust this play because he looks lost. So watch. Boom. We come off of this play fake. You can tell Teddy's navigates the pocket, and then he's expecting to be able to read one of these guys. This man is lost. He is absolutely lost. Teddy does a great job of saying, oh my goodness, what the heck is going on downfield? Navigating, buying time, and then getting to his check down, knowing where his check down is. That, to me, is fantastic. This is a great quarterback play. 16. Yeah, we're just out there. We got no idea. Like, that's the sign of somebody who has no idea where he's supposed to be. Navigates, gets to a check down. That's your quarterback saving your ass if you're a receiver. That's great stuff. Great stuff. Another great ball here, man. I love this. Great read, great ball. We got Flutie. What's Flutie? We got a stick at 8 post, okay? Aiming high, home run post with a sail route. You read this thing, 1 to 2. Check the home run, get to the sail. Teddy does a great job. Boom, off of the action, climbs the pocket, delivers an absolute gem on the sail route. Absolute gem on the sail route. Just layering this thing. We talk about layering the football, meaning, hey, we want to see you drop it in the bucket, but with pace. And that's exactly what happened there. Really, really good ball. So, Teddy overall, tremendous day, I thought. Okay, 2 bad decisions, if you want to call them those, which I would. This one is really nothing to do with Drew, but a lot of people talked about this as Drew not doing a good job, and I just want to talk through it. Boom, you can see him take the sack. The Broncos were trying to just do a little bit of hard run action this way and then hit what we would call a little mag route in route behind it, okay? You can see they're trying to influence this backer and then throw the in route right behind it. Here's what I want you guys to watch and what I want you guys to learn. So we've got the end lined up on the inside shoulder of a tackle. Inside shoulder of the tackle is what we would call a 4-eye, okay? If you guys haven't learned D-line techniques, I would suggest looking them up. Head up is a 4, outside shade's a 5, outside shade on the guard is a 3, head up, sorry, is a 2, and then inside shade is a 2-eye. Then you've got shade strong, shade weak, 0. Okay, I would encourage you guys to look it up. There's also ones on the tight ends, all that stuff. I'm going to let you guys go ahead and do a little research project and look up defensive line techniques, okay? What I think we're in is I think we're in just trying to sell zone with a slice across, okay? We called it a slider. A lot of people call it slice. 76 to me is the bust guy here because you've got to account for a 4-eye. You've got the 4-eye. He literally crosses face of this D end. It's a terrible job by the end letting somebody cross your face, and then he just lucks his way into a sack. So you can watch, boom, the tight end's coming across clearly for 98. We just turned 62 free, and a bad football player because he let someone cross his face turns into a good play. I would make an argument for the tight end should work inside out here, even if 76 does bust, that tight end maybe could save it by working inside out. Either way, a lot of people I saw giving Drew a hard time about this. This is no way, shape, or form. That's what you would call a no grade when you're looking at it on tape. You'd call that a big old no grade. I'm not going to grade that. You're not getting out your red pin for that one. You know what I mean? This is a great read on Dover. We've got the Dover concept. You guys have heard me talk about Samurai. You've heard me talk about Jalapeno. A lot of posts with overs coming. This is Dover. What's Dover? It's deep over with a shallow. Okay, we've got cushion 8 outside. Cushion 8 is a heck of a lot like stick at 8. They just convert against different things. Stick at 8 converts against any press, so what we would call a tough adjust, whereas cushion 8 converts against only cloud. Okay, there you go. Pretty fun. Anyways, cushion 8, you got the big home run post. You got the deep over coming, running into your window, plus you've got the shallow that stays on the run against man, settles against zone. The read on this is we're going to check the home run post down, something we call a ladder read, right? Reading it down the ladder, okay? You're going to see Drew off the action. He looks at the home run post first, obviously doesn't have it. Boom, gets to the deep over and drives that thing. This is Drew's best throw of the night, hands down. Best read, best throw. Climb, climb, ball. Great shot, great play call. Love the Dover concept, okay? This to me is really promising because Drew is carrying over eye manipulation that we talked about last week. We talked about last week he held the backer. Okay, he had a plus will, which is another thing we have here. When I say plus will, what I mean is the will linebacker, normally you'd have him lined up here. When you move him strong, it's called plussing. Okay, you could say it's bossing the backers over strong. Okay, he's got a plus will. He's just holding him with his eyes. Watch him. Boom, hold him with the eyes so he can open up that slant backside. If he gets there too early, backer flies, we have contact too early. Because of his eyes, watch him hold 56. Watch him hold him right there. You see that little freeze right there? Boom, that freeze right there gets him to backpedal before he takes off. Boom. Easy money on the slant, okay? We got to love that. I talked about this on the TV copy, and I said, hey, I think we need to move on from the Hank route. So this is what we've got. We've got the Hank route. Sorry, I can draw this one up for you guys. We've got the Hank route, boom, which is 6-yard drive over the ball. We've got the curl plus the flat. Okay, I said, hey, I think Drew needs to move on to the curl route, sit route, whatever you guys want to call it. To me, it's a curl. Or the tight end needs to box out better and we need better placement. I feel like I'm being overly critical, grading this out as a negative, because honestly, I feel like that's just a heck of a play by 57. But I would never admit that as an offensive player because we can always make the play. So I think maybe we leave it a little inside shoulder. And I think if we throw it outside shoulder, it's dang good. Okay? This, to me, we've got a little pepper Y wheel cross. Okay? Well, what's pepper? Pepper's post. We got the post outside, Y's on the wheel, selling the flat, turning up on the wheel. Then we've got cross, which is just deep over. Some people call this a spear route. I really like the name spear. Some guys call it a spear route, and then we've got the 6 backside. Okay? A lot of people call this the cross concept, and they send this on the post. My man Ted at The Athletic wrote a great article on it, I think. Anyways, We are going to read this thing as 1 on the wheel, 2 to the spear, 3 to the 6. Okay? You would alert this post, alert V quarters. Okay? Against quarters, you probably could get this backside safety to 1, either be flat-footed on this spear, or 2, read this thing inside out, try to pass the wheel, try to pass the post. Anyways, we want to alert it versus quarters. Drew does a really good job of seeing the wheel and then moving on. However, this is a wide open spear route that we have to hit. Again, he gets to his check down, which I don't want to say is bad, but you'd really love to see him hit the spear route here. 2, 3, 4, 5, gets off the wheel. You can see him looking at it too. Now, oh, this guy's blocking his vision. Okay, but we need to navigate the pocket then and make a throw. And we need to not float off our spot so much too, would be another conversation. So bad on the missed cross. Now we've got bad on the footwork. Everyone has seen this play a million times. We'll watch it from the wide, and then I'll show you from the tight what I'd like to see. When you're running power or trap or whatever the heck you want to call it, and we have pulling people, okay? Everyone, I want to say we, but I believe everyone teaches this as a jab, meaning get your right foot and jab it quickly, and then get this left foot off the ground and replace, almost like a jab and then a jump stop that you would have in basketball. It's jab and then 2, 3. Drew does a full-on reverse pivot, okay? His left foot gets stepped on where he left it. To me, honestly, if this is how they're teaching it, I don't love it, okay? Obviously, this is supposed to be a boot, okay? You can tell based on all these receivers getting out. But you want to see him jab and replace and not full turn. Okay? That's the problem. So, we got to fix that footwork there. This to me is a great read and flip, man. I love this one. So watch. Drew is anticipating this guy pressuring and then this guy playing zone behind it. That's what he's anticipating. Boom, the guy sinks in coverage. So that's why Drew's eyes go there first, because he wanted to be able to hit that hitch route against pressure. Okay? Instead, he doesn't have it. So he immediately flips and finds his, what I'm assuming is a stick route here. The ball, I actually think he throws a pretty good ball. The other thing I talk about is I'm 100% convinced that this is a bust here, but we wouldn't know for sure without being in those meetings. Watch Drew, though. This, to me, is a great job. He thinks he's getting pressure, so he's trying to take the boundary. Okay, he realizes, boom, they drop into it, gets off it, drives this thing. That is a catchable football. Now, is it perfect? Absolutely not. Is it coming in hot? Absolutely. Is it something that, do you pay the receivers to make the hard ones? Yeah, that's the point. Okay? That's a great read, great ball. Or great read, good ball. Let's call it great read, good ball. Good job flipping his eyes. Good job playing in the right spot, anticipating pressure. This, to me, is play creation. This is what you get with Drew. If he can continue to make plays like this and eliminate the turnovers that come with it, that's a really exciting proposition for Broncos country, and I would say the coaching staff. Just watch it from the tight. Little flip inside. A little Favre-ish. It's a heck of a hurdle. So, where are we at after 2 preseason games is the question. Here's my opinion. My opinion is Drew Lock's a starting quarterback, and here's why. Teddy clearly won the Seattle game. Drew clearly won the Minnesota game. Okay? From just my opinion, I think Teddy won this game. I think it's pretty clear on the tape. What I would say, though, is I personally believe Teddy's lows against Minnesota were greater than Drew's lows against Seattle. So when I factor that in, I lean Drew. So that's where I'm at with the decision. Could I see a viable option in going with Teddy? Absolutely. Teddy played great football against Seattle, and he played pretty good football against Minnesota. There were just some poor decisions from Hunting versus conservatism. Being conservative. I don't know the right word there. Being conservative with the football that I didn't like. Though somewhat got corrected against Seattle, but there was also the highway concept that was tough. So, to me, I lean Drew. And I think he's the smart bet for start week 1. I also believe in when you name a starting quarterback, you roll with that quarterback. You don't then flip-flop based on 1 or 2 bad games. Now, if there were a lot of patterns forming, then you could justify flipping them. But that's where I'm at. Broncos Country, comment. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you disagree and why. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see y'all next week. All right.